Hello, hello, and we are back again. And Dina is feeling better, so super excited to have her on this episode today. And if this is the first time you are tuning in, this is Passion Unscripted podcast where we talk about love, intimacy, sex, and everything in between. We just go raw and real about anything, right? Something that a lot of people are just shameful to talk about. We are saying there is nothing to be hiding about that and just bring it on. Let's have the real conversation and let's also participate in this conversation. It's not just for us to talk on these podcasts, but we would love for you to interact and have your questions. And I know we have a couple of people like Al, Giovanni used to come, right? And other people who are interacting, and we want to recognize you and say that we see you and we love when you interact with us. And just to say a couple of words about ourselves, I'm Irina Portnova. I'm in the space of manifestation where I help you to manifest your true love and to manifest that desired relationship that you would love to have. And I'm here with my co host, Dina. Dina, can you say a little bit about yourself?
Yes, of course. I feel like myself again. Thank you, universe. I've been purging.
Yes.
So, my name is Dina Alexander. I live. I am a coach, a personal coach, a relationship coach, and an intimacy coach on the island of Aruba. I do believe intimacy and spirituality needs to go hand in hand, and that's the best foundation. If you have that balanced, if you are searching for that connection, and that's what we are going to talk today, that
Mm-hmm.
connection, and what makes you human instead of an animal. That's what I teach, that's what I coach, that is how I can assist you in your life. That's a little bit
Mm-hmm.
about me. And it's fun day, Monday.
Yes, it's fun day, yes. And let's just dive in about the topic. As always, Dina suggests the topic and we just make it happen. So today we talk about emotional versus sexual intimacy. All right, bring it on.
Yes. So today's episode is raw, real, and transformative. You know why? Because we are diving into a question many of us grapple with. Are we craving emotional connection or sexual chemistry? And how can we nurture both, create fulfilling soulful relationship, or how can we just stop? Because that's the reason why this topic. A customer of mine came to me and told me, I like your tip of the weeks, and what about talk about, because she has a friend, and the friend had a problem, so she was there for him during, for emotional support. And she told me awkwardly at the end of the conversation, he said to her, hey, I want to fuck you. And that's how we relate with each other. That's how he felt. It's like he wanted to consume, make it physical. And she said she felt like disrespected. And that's why I wanted this topic on this table today. So let's get into it. So what came up to you? Because that's a very powerful
Yes.
story that I told you.
You know what? For me, before I have to be sexually with somebody, for me, emotional comes first. So I want to connect with the person on a deeper level before I go in with my body. So this is my thing. And obviously, it's all about knowing how to operate. A lot of people do not know how to connect with each other, right? And especially men, they kind of very straightforward. They could be very blunt, right?
Yes.
And it could make women, like feel frozen. or anything in that nature, right? So, but like for me, I'm okay with anything. Like I'm used to deal with different things. So for me, I always find what to answer. So it wouldn't be like very shocking for me. Obviously, I what I'm doing when I'm communicating with man is actually I'm teaching them how to treat me and how to talk to me.
Yes. And that's why we are here. Because we
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be teaching men how to treat women. They should know.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
I like it that you brought that up at first instance, because we women take it's our responsibility to teach them how to treat us. No, they really disrespected you. So go and educate yourself on how to talk to women, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So, Irina, what sets emotional and sexual intimacy apart? Let's clarify these two powerful forms of connections. So, emotional intimacy is about feeling safe, feeling
Mm-hmm.
seen, true and truly understood. Like you can be your raw, your authentic self without judgment. It's the place where trust blossoms and vulnerability becomes a gift, not a risk. That is emotional intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Sexual intimacy, on the other hand, is about connection through body, pleasure, desire, and physical closeness that awakens our senses and fuel passion. And you know what? A man that is not emotional intelligent will be open for sexual experiences without that connection. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that's how we as women maybe should, if you encounter these connection, you can choose. If it's a friend and you want to teach him or her how to treat you, go ahead. Okay, but if you
Mm-hmm.
don't and you feel yourself disrespected in cases like that, I will be such a person. I will not educate you.
Mm-hmm.
You need to you need to pay me to educate you.
Totally. Yep.
So um, these two aren't mutually exclusive in a relationship, in a romantic relationship. They could be exclusive in a friendship. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what happened with this girl when she opened up to me and asked me about talk for me to talk more about that emotional intelligence. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, in a romantic relationship, these two work together. But the majority of the cases, the men are more into sexually intimacy, and the women are more into the emotional intimacy.
Emotional. Totally.
That's not good. So why one without the other can you leave you feeling empty, Irina? Do you know the reason why?
You know what? Again, like you mentioned, Dina, it's very important because if you're talking about, like if you have that friend, ideally we want to have everything in one man, right? For that man to be our friend, for that man to be our intimacy and sexual partner, right? And sometimes it doesn't happen this way. Sometimes people find
Yes.
connection with somebody else, right? That like because I think why for women is more important to have that emotional intimacy because this is like you mentioned, Dina. It provides safety and woman only can open up when she feels safe, right?
Yes.
Again, I can't speak everything about men because I'm not a man, but I know for some men it's also important to feel safe, but at the same token they are more like, they are more kind of, like go with the flow as opposed to us. We are more like, like deeper. We are more, okay, provide that safety for me. then I know that I can open up and I can trust. Even like when we are talking about get into the exploration in sexual life, right? As we were talking about before. First, you provide that safety for a woman, that she trusts you and she feels like she can allow you to experiment and do something, right? But first, it all comes to that safety. So that's
Yes.
very important for women, right? And
Yep.
again, it can be exclusive, depends on what are the intentions for that, for these people that like either dating or just connecting and conversating with each other. But obviously, I'm always about the balance. So I would rather see in my relationship both emotional and sexual intimacy.
And that's the perfect way of life, of having a good
Mm-hmm.
relationship. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
what you were stating is being highly desired in a relationship, but feeling emotionally disconnected. If you are missing that
Mm-hmm.
emotional intimacy. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a common scenario in the majority of the relationships that I know, that this is sometimes a scenario. Or
Mm-hmm.
perhaps engaging in deep emotional sharing but feeling unfulfilled physically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how many men feel. That can also leave you empty or longing for more. And that's the reason why you go outside of your relationship. Okay? Here is the truth. The fulfillment comes from balancing both.
Mm-hmm.
When you neglect one, it can create a sense of unfulfillment or longing that echoes in your heart and body. So you need to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to balance both in the relationship. Why? The reason why I started this topic is because it wasn't a romantic relationship. That I'm going to touch a romantic relationship first, afterwards the friendship relationship, because a lot of women does feel overwhelmed or harassed because they have these situations. Okay. And some of them, they do give sex and feel afterwards dirty or nasty or ashamed. Okay, that they did give themselves and they don't feel like it. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you end a relationship, a friendship relationship, because you engage sexually. Okay, then you need to think twice before reaching at that point. Okay, you need to know that both need to be balanced. Okay, something came up before our quick
Yes,
tip.
something came up, like, as you are talking about. So, what really lands in communication, if you are feeling that, that person overpowers you and this is not the way you like it, always voice your opinion. And because any good relationship is the relationship where people can feel that they can express themselves, right? Because again, nobody comes to the relationship as a ready product. Even when some great people who did the inner work come together, there is still adjustment because everybody is different, right? You can't fit everybody's world. And another thing is boundaries, because if you do not have good boundaries, then that is something that a woman can experience, like you mentioned, Dina, just like feel dirty or feel used.
Yes, yes, I love it. I love it how you explain it. You
Thank
know, I wanted to give some quick tips on how to reflect of analyze what is happening to you. Okay, you if you have if you're listening to us and you have time to reflect on your recent relationships or encounters, could be romantic, could be friendships, ask yourself, did I feel truly seen? Did I feel desired? Or was I longing for one without the other?
you. Mm-hmm.
This is awareness. Awareness is the first step towards alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can insert boundaries and communicate. But you need to be aware
Mm-hmm.
of where you are. Okay. And some people cannot, they don't know how to identify what they truly need from a connection. Have you ever felt that?
No, not me.
Good.
I
That
know exactly what I want.
some people do feel like that. Okay.
Of course, because a lot of people even go into the intimacy just for the sake of intimacy without like sexual intimacy, without like really knowing exactly what where they want to be and what they want to create, right? Because again, coming to the manifestation point, everything has to be intentional.
Yes. Yes. But we were not born like that. So
Of course
this
not.
what you are talking about is it's a it's a valuable information.
Mm-hmm.
Valuable information that because for me, for example, there were a couple of encounters that I said to myself, "Hey, this should be a client. Shouldn't he shouldn't be dating me?" And
Mm-hmm.
well, I dated him for a while. Okay, so I need to accept. Hey, I need to recognize there is a reason why I'm single.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to date, but we need to recognize: are we going to date our clients, or are we going to stay to hold on our energy and be open for someone with the same energy, with the same information? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so how to identify what you truly need in a connection? So honoring your authentic need is the key. So you need to be aware, what is your authentic need? Okay? Do I ask yourself, do I crave deep emotional safety first? Or is my desire centered on physical passion? And it can be, and you shouldn't be ashamed, because that's a
Mm-hmm.
problem also. Because some of us are ashamed that we have that urge. No, you shouldn't be ashamed. You should, if you get engaged, you should be do it safely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or perhaps you need both to feel whole. Practice a simple thing. Make a list. Write down. I like journaling. Write down
Mm-hmm.
what truly satisfies you. Is it active listening? Is it eye contact? Is it gentle touch? Is it playful teasing?
Mm-hmm.
Understanding your needs guides you in attracting and cultivating meaningful connections. This
Mm-hmm.
is the key, what the person needs to understand. Okay? So what comes up? Tell me.
You know what brought into me, Dina, again, the basics. Know yourself better, right? And it's like, and it touches every area of our life. Once we know ourselves better, we know what we want from life in terms of our purpose. We know better what we want in terms of our finances. Then we know about in terms of our relationship, and the list go on and on and on. And that's exactly what we are doing throughout our journey. It doesn't mean that once we kind of make the list, this is the list that's going to serve us till, like we are going to say bye bye to this life, right? Basically we know that as time changes we are also changing because we encounter different experiences, and we are reflecting and we are making a note. Okay, this is something that works for me right now that might be not acceptable, wasn't acceptable like a year ago or so, right? But the more we lean on and actually asking ourselves what exactly do we want out of any relationship, the better we start connecting to ourselves and the better we start knowing about ourselves. Because again, it's not somebody else's job to know us, it's our job to know ourselves. And then it's our job to tell that person that we want to be close intimately, sexually and emotionally, right? For them to discover, for them to get to know us.
Yes, I love it. So time flies, you know. I want to talk before before we reach the end. I want to
Yes.
talk about the reason why this topic, okay? Because I want to give tips how to handle these situations also. So maybe you are craving passion, but your partner or your friend seems distant or uninterested, or perhaps you're the one feeling hesitant or disconnected physically, even though there is
Hmm.
emotional closeness. Here's the truth: it's okay. It's okay for one not to feel um, that physical connection. Okay? And that's the first thing we should understand. You shouldn't feel ashamed. You shouldn't say sorry. You shouldn't feel bad because the other person is not feeling you physically.
Hmm.
It's okay. So desire can fluctuate from for many reasons. Okay, so in a relationship, for example, stress, fatigue, past wounds, and in a friendship relationship, hey, maybe the stage in the life of one person, it's she or he is not ready for that sexual connection, and we should respect that. Okay,
Hmm.
uh, so what can you do when one person isn't feeling it? As I said, personally, first of all, don't take it personally. Desire is a complex dance, often
Hmm.
influenced by subconscious cues and external factors. Second, create a space for to be open and create a space for honest communication. Ask gently. For example, I notice you're not feeling the same level of desire right now. Can you share what's going on for you? And you
Hmm.
can be open. Okay?
Totally.
Remember, it's about nurturing patience, compassion. Pushback or pressure can deepen the disconnect instead.
Hmm.
And meet your partner resistance with understanding. It is a sacred act, and it is a sacred act of love to honor these connections. And that's why I feel the Mondays are very important for me, because sex is we should we should get away from sex, get a little bit, take a step back, and make it human intimacy instead of sex physical connection. Only get an orgasm, and if you need to get an orgasm, you need to get a vibrator or a sleeve for a man, then you'll get your orgasm, or you can ejaculate. But for if you have another soul in front of you, this should be a deeper connection than only sex. Okay, so what comes up?
Many things. First of all, you know what, we are talking about, like people really having a lot of sex. But you know what I think? A lot of times it's more, the whatever we watch in the movies. And especially the way that I'm living in the United States. And I know in Aruba it's a little bit different because you're living on the beach, you have the ocean, and it's all about just like that pleasure, desire, and you have a different lifestyle. In USA, people are working too many hours, and a lot of people do not even have the intimacy, and they're lucky if they have it on the weekend because there is a lot of responsibilities. So I would just say that I'm not 100% with you when you say let's not think about the sex, because a lot of times people here do not really have time even to think about it. But it's just kind of like to each its own, although I agree with you that we have to balance both, right? And a lot of times sex is something that just actually connects to people, because if you take the sex away, people have nothing to even talk about. So that's why it's so important to really nurture that connection, really get to know your partner and have the similar interests, have some fun moments together, do different things, right? Just to continue growing in that relationship.
Yes, yes. I'm going to share a story. When before I became a coach, I had an encounter with a group a group of people, and in one lady in the group was a lesbian, and she liked my energy, and it as an heterosexual, that encounter, you feel that energy. I feel energy. So
Mm-hmm.
I had, without knowing that I had to communicate clear, I had to tell this lady, look, I feel very awkward around you. It feels like
Mm-hmm.
I am sitting with a man that I don't want to be a part of his life,
Mm-hmm.
or his energy. So I'm going to discontinue this connection. So she felt like very sad, because the group was very close, but I had to be very, very true to me to
Mm-hmm.
continue.
Totally.
So um this it is very it was for me very beautiful in a way, because
Mm-hmm.
maybe because I am a heterosexual, and if I had this encounter with a man, with a male, maybe it will be difficult.
Right.
But it was very, very easy with a lesbian woman, because I don't feel it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the very awkward feeling if I was next to her. So
Mm-hmm.
that that is what I want our audience to rest and be
Mm-hmm.
aware, sit with it for a while, and go through your relationships. Has this ever happened to you? What did you
Mm-hmm.
what should I have done to,
Mm-hmm.
instead of giving myself physically? Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Time.
Totally. I love everything what we are talking about, because it just brings that opens up the floor for the discussion and for deep thinking, right? Because again, it's all about just like really getting to know ourselves better and navigating this life with more fun and clarity, right?
Yes.
So for anybody who tuning in, we thank you for stopping by, and we would appreciate if you share some comments, because we are in this together. We are putting these episodes to educate you and also to interact with you, and that's why we are here, and we love every Monday. But thank you so much, Dina, for this topic. And again, for anybody who wants us to talk on something specific, just reach out, DM us if you do not feel confident to put it right out in the public. Just reach out to us and say what are the topics you would love us to talk about. And it's all about just exploring and learning together in the process.
Yes.
Yes? All
Yes.
right, thank you so much. Check our links in this live, see what we are all about, and let's continue growing together, because we do not have to do it alone. And intimacy is something that a lot of people are shying away on this subject. So we are here to shed some light and to say it's okay to talk on that, because during this conversation we are growing and we are actually understanding what is something that we love to connect with ourselves and with our intimacy, and what is something that really just bring that passion to our life. Thank you so much. Thanks, Dina, again, and everybody. See you on the next episode next